Good evening, live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. Here we present to you tonight's news bulletin. Eid Mubarak, and first the headlines. The Minister of Health announces 348 new confirmed cases of coronavirus COVID-19 in the Sultanate. The number of countries importing the Omani fish increases in 2019. And a number of world countries ease lockdown restrictions by reopening borders, touristic and commercial activities. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. The Minister of Health announced 348 new confirmed cases of COVID-19, which brings the total number registered in the Sultanate to 8,118, including 37 deaths. The Minister of Health stresses that 2,067 cases have been recovered. Within the efforts to limit the spread of COVID-19, the Ministry advises all citizens and residents to keep on washing hands with water and soap. Avoid touching the face, nose, mouth and eyes. Follow hygienic habits when coughing and sneezing. Adhere strictly to social distancing instructions. Stay at home and not to go out unless absolutely necessary. Adhering to isolation and social distancing will prevent you, your family and the community from COVID-19. Stay safe. Welcome back. The Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth has stated that the Sultanate exported fish to 57 countries in the world in 2019, compared to 49 countries during 2015. Around 35% of the Omani fish were exported to Gulf Cooperation Council countries and 41% were exported to Asian countries. Around 4% of the Omani fish were exported to Arab countries, South American nations and European countries. The Sultanate exports of fish last year reached over 205,000 tons at a value of over 104 million Omani riyals. Oman oil price July delivery reached today $37.70 per barrel, increasing by 68 cents compared to yesterday's price, which reached $37.02. The average price of Omani oil June delivery reached $23.65 per barrel. Eid celebrations in various governorates of the Sultanate continue while adhering to the preventive measures of COVID-19 pandemic. More details in the following report. As the coronavirus pandemic kept usual celebrations on hold based on the decision of the Supreme Committee that deals with the mechanism of development resulting from the spread of COVID-19, people have been faithful across the Sultanate, where they have celebrated Eid at home with their immediate family, practicing social distancing and follow all the precautionary measures as directed by the Supreme Committee.
Alhamdulillah, عيدنا في المنزل بفضله تعالى.
Due to the decisions issued by the Supreme Committee, we celebrated the blessed Eid al-Fitr in our homes. Of course, it is different from the previous Eids, but we also enjoyed this time. Wishing Eid Mubarak to everyone.
وكل عام والجميع بخير.
Thus, this time Eid celebrations have been different, where movement of people have been restricted in order to prevent the spread of coronavirus, to be safe and protect others. People throughout the Sultanate have utilized the social media and video conferencing to greet one another. In North and South Al-Batina, while keeping the tradition of making barbecue, mishakik, arsia and shua in their own home with the family, children as usual enjoyed their time with one another.
كل عام وانتم بخير وعساكم من عواده.
Citizens and residents have taken up to their hearts to maintain the health guidelines, including social distancing and wearing gloves and masks when going to the public only when it's extremely necessary.
We are celebrating Eid at home without going anywhere to prevent coronavirus.
Indeed, this year, in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, people have enjoyed the quality time with their immediate family and, as usual, with their best attire in the blessed occasion. Children, in particular, have enjoyed the occasion as they spent a marvelous time with everyone at home. The Omani students studying in Australia celebrated Eid al-Fitr following gathering procedures and precautions permitted by the Australian government as the situation has gradually returned to normal around Australia. More details in the following report.
Coronavirus pandemic has affected all aspects of life around the world. However, with the gradual return of life in Australia, the Omani students studying in Australian universities celebrated the first day of Eid al-Fitr, as permitted by the Australian government during the first phase of lifting restrictions imposed to address COVID-19 epidemic.
I am happy to spend the blessed month of Ramadan and Eid al-Fitr here between the Omani students studying in Victoria, Australia. Under the current circumstances, we have celebrated the first day of Eid by utilizing virtual communication to exchange greetings. We have practiced some of the Eid appearances, such as cooking different traditional foods. Thank you for the Consulate General of the Sultanate of Oman in Australia and the Omani Student Society for the efforts made for following up the students here and supporting them. And I would like to take this opportunity to wish a happy Eid for my family and for all citizens and residents of the beautiful Oman.
On this happy occasion, the Omani students exchanged Eid greetings and treated themselves with delicious Omani cuisines, particularly ursiya and shiwa, keeping in mind physical distancing and following gatherings procedures as indicated by the Australian government.
I would say, honestly, it's been my pleasure to celebrate this occasion, especially here in Australia, Melbourne, Victoria. And this is my third year celebrating here in Australia, and I've already kind of get used to it. The difference is, especially in this Eid, we are following the procedure that the government applied here in Australia, that we have to make like a social distance between us.
I feel so grateful today thanks to the Omani Student Society as they are sending traditional Omani meals for all the students here in Victoria, and I appreciate all the time and effort that they put into this to make us feel home.
Celebrating Eid does not only bring a special joy to the hearts of the Omani students studying abroad, but it also leaves a positive impact on them psychologically and academically, especially at such exceptional circumstances. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi.
Non-compliance with the directives of the Supreme Committee dealing with coronavirus COVID-19 exposes you to risk and legal action. Stay safe.
It's good to see the tradition is well preserved for our Omani wherever they go. Wonderful for them. And we do wish them the very best. Now, for the details of the remaining of the news. Shoppers face more queuing and limited ability to try products when England's high street retailers, department stores and shopping centres reopen next month after the coronavirus lockdown. Prime Minister Boris Johnson said yesterday that outdoor markets and car showrooms in England can reopen from June 1st, followed by all other non-essential retail from June 15 if the government's tests are met. But the stores will have to observe health and safety and social distancing regulations. Complying with the government's guidance will bring complexity to the trading process and higher operating and the capital costs. The guidance for stores laid out in a 33-page document requires more cleaning regimes, queuing systems with one-way floors, and increased signage and fewer customers in a store at a time with shopping with children discouraged. The reopening only applies to England, and retailers in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland have to wait for guidance from their developed administrations.
The very extensive questions that we did.
Jordanian public sector's workers started returning to work today after a 10-week shutdown to stem the spread of the coronavirus. Social distancing measures are in place and employees will only be working from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. According to guidelines, workers who have chronic illness or have been in contact with infected people alongside pregnant women or mothers with young children won't have to come back to work yet. They will be allowed to work remotely if possible. Universities, schools, kindergartens, mosques, churches, swimming pools, cinemas, wedding halls and entertainment facilities remain closed. Jordan has recorded 711 COVID-19 cases and 9 deaths. U.S. biotech group Novavax Incorporated has joined the race to test coronavirus vaccine candidates in humans and enrolled its first participants yesterday. Novavax said its experts' preliminary readings on safety and on indicators of an immune response from the trial in July. The announcement comes as drug makers pause clinical trials on drugs for other ailments to focus on COVID-19, the illness caused by the novel coronavirus that has infected more than 5.3 million people worldwide and resulted in more than 343,000 deaths. The World Health Organization, WHO, on Friday said that 10 experimental vaccines were being tested on humans, including the Novavax compound. Novavax last month said it had identified a candidate with which it planned to use its Matrix M adjuvant to enhance immune responses. Adjuvants are designed to boost the immune response induced by a vaccine and provide longer-lasting protection against infections. Novavax said that the phase 1 trial in Australia would involve about 130 healthy participants aged 18 to 59. And now, to end this news bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Minister of Health announces 348 new confirmed cases of coronavirus COVID-19 in the Sultanate. The number of countries importing the Omani fish increases in 2019. And a number of world countries ease lockdown restrictions by reopening borders, touristic and commercial activities. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin brought to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman Television. Thank you for joining us and good night.